Hello. Okay. Today we will be discussing the role of the Nigerian police force in the nation building and the forthcoming elections. We know that from the way the tension is being built, we are supposed to expect the preparedness of the Nigerian police and what will be the case considering the level of policing in Nigeria until today. And from what we have seen so far in the past years, so let us also put this into consideration because they are supposed to be an important part of the society and also supposed to be in charge of the security to take care of the lives and properties of the citizens and also to respond to their urgent calls in the times of distress. So let's discuss about it and try to analyze the position of our police today in Nigeria and what we expect of them in the election. So if you want to join in, you can join in. Personally, observing the operations of the Nigerian police for years now, even before now, other elections that have been carried out, we have seen shortages in responses or absence in most areas during elections of the police because we have seen violence. Okay, we are back online. We have seen violence in polling units, even leading to the deaths of people around where they are supposed to be voting. So, what exactly are the police doing? Just like this election that is also coming up, many people are wondering. Some are even scared already of their safety. So, will people be ready to go to the polling units, being aware of the threats that have been carried out until today by politicians? There is a particular voice that was even in circulation, a voice record that was threatening people that if they don't vote their candidates, they should not return back to where they are living or where they are doing businesses. So these are serious threats. And until today, we have not heard that anybody has been arrested or the owner of the voice has been pinpointed. If yes, but I have not heard, which means it may be that that person is still not known or the person is known, but he's being protected. So this is the point. We have seen in Nigeria where the average citizens does not mean much to the police of Nigeria, but it's not really, let me say, 100% the fault of the policemen or the police officers. It also has to do with how the force is regulated. In the first place, already it's not as if we have enough policemen in Nigeria. We should have about maybe less than 180 police is there. So they have to be careful. But in Nigeria, it is not the case. People go about anything that they want to do, and in the end, they can sort things out. And even if the police are aware, they are not able to investigate, and that is the end. So this is the situation that we find ourselves in Nigeria. So now, what is the point? What is the hope that lives and property will be secured in a situation like this. Because Nigeria is a place where you call the police at times and they may not be able to respond to you because there could be no vehicle, there could be no ammunitions at the same time. So they may not be able to respond to you because they also have shortages of ammunitions, cars, and the basic needs of the police officers to operate. So, with all this in mind, because the state that you have in a nation where the police are efficient, the police officers are efficient, the method of investigations are efficient, you can only find terrorists lurking behind corners, killing citizens, kidnapping citizens, organ harvesting, and all the evil that you can think of. It gets to a point that people are even afraid to trust themselves with the police or to trust their lives in the hands of the police because anything can happen. So, all these sum together, what will be their role in this 2023 election? Are we sure that the police now being around all the polling units or in most of the polling units that are suspected to be hit polling units, with their presence now stem the vote buying, election rigging, malpractices, and violence in polling units? So these are the things that we need to put into consideration before the election day. Because personally, there can be cases whereby officers that are supposed to be in the polling units can even be in restaurants in Nigeria. Yes, it can happen in hotels and all that. They may have been given the order to go and enjoy themselves somewhere or stay there and don't even do anything. Because Nigeria is a country of order from above. Just like we saw recently when House of Assembly members were not allowed to go into the National House of Assembly. And the response was that it is the order from above. So, if this can happen, if the security agents were sent to barricade the entrance into the National House of Assembly, so what do we expect of them during this 2003 election? Are we going to depend on them? Are we sure they can deliver our expectations? So, this is the point because right now in Nigeria is a bit heat up because we have four major contenders. Though people most times refer to three major contenders which are Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, and Bola Tinubu. But really, there is another silent and a powerful contender, which is Rabiu Kwakwaso. He's another man that they are watching out for. So now, he is silent, but he has structure. NNPP, yes, he is silent, but he has structure all over Nigeria. Everywhere in Nigeria, they are rooted. They have secretariat, they have all their chairmen, they have all their party agents, and so on and so forth. There is Peter Obi of the Labour Party, Atiku of the People's Democratic Party, and Bola Tinubu of the All People's Congress. Now, these people are getting ready to be voted, and there is a particular air of threats, especially people refer to one of the candidates as one that is really threatening to do anything by all means. People are trying to believe that a particular candidate is ready for violence, is ready to do anything come this election. So now, what is the position of the Nigerian police force? Because so far, we have seen protests, we have seen uh, threat to lives, we have seen threats for people to be forced to vote, yet we have not seen any arrests, we have not seen any interrogation. So now, how can we be sure of how surely the dispensation of justice will be during this election? It is an important part. It is what we should also be thinking of, because without the police, which means there can be anarchy, people can do anything that they like. They can go to polling units and drive out everybody and do what they want to do, or they can go to polling units and just take people one after the other. You put your finger here, vote, go home. You put your finger here, vote, go home. Yes. So we are dependent on the police. So how can we assure their full response according to the law? So this is an important part. If you're online, we can discuss it. If you have anything to contribute as well, you can also come online. So, judging by the presidential election, personally, it's not as if I know, and maybe most of you know also, it's not as if voting a new president today is going to automatically change the situation in Nigeria. But at least, let's see what happens. Because already, the president is not the one that will change the country automatically or magically, because a country has its president, governors, LG chairman or council chairman, ward councillors, senators at the level of the constituencies, House of Representative members, commissioners that are in charge of the parastatals at the state level, ministers that are in charge of parastatals at the national level. Now, the duty of the president or the federal government is to give them what is required for them to do their jobs, to carry out their respective duties. And this, the federal government has always done, because if not, we hear, they will lament that it's supposed to give us this allocation. For 3 months now, we have not received the allocations. We also hear of salaries being held, people not being paid, and so on and so forth. Pensions not being paid. But really, if you look carefully, if we have, for instance, journalists that can really go in depth and investigate these incidents, you will find out that the federal government has already released the funds for pensioners to be paid, for employees to be paid. The federal government has already injected money to pay ASU workers. The money may be given to the appropriate office in due time, but they will now sit on the money and don't give it to the people they are supposed to give it to. So this is the problem of Nigeria. The president is not mainly the problem of Nigeria, because the president at the end of the day is going to give what is needed to the state, to the ministries, to the other government agencies, and so on and so forth. But what we they do later is what determines the state of our nation. Because the president is not going to come out all the time to tell you, I gave them money, but they didn't do it. I gave them money, but they didn't do it, according to the way things are run in Nigeria, because everybody is expected to play along because nobody is a saint. So the president is not going to accuse anybody. He's not going to tell you anything. Then everybody keeps putting the blame on the president. Take, for instance, a state that was given his allocation at the end of the beginning of the month. Now you are be given your allocation in billions, and you are also supposed to remit allocations to the local government councils. Now, have we ever asked what these states do with those monies? Today, we blame the federal government also for the inefficiency of the police force, but in reality, not completely. It's not completely the fault of the president or the federal government, because each state is also given their security votes every month, which also run to billions. Security votes is the money that is needed for the security of any state, which is given also to each state to equip the police force. So you see, the president is not going to magically change Nigeria, because you have to take everything put together. You are going to find out that the president is always going to be a president right there in his office, and it will not depend on the governors. That is why I keep telling everybody, we have not seen a state in Nigeria that is properly governed, or that has been properly governed to the extent that every citizen in that state is comfortable, to the extent that every citizen can open water in their homes to take their bath or to cook or to wash their clothes. And any land that does not have water is considered to be poor. In fact, any land that does not have water is poor. This is something they do not even talk about. And this is the most important human necessity. We can't live without water, but we can live without electricity. We have lived without electricity before, though electricity is also very, very important. But people still struggle to get water. People still struggle to get clean water to drink, to a point that water has become expensive instead of being the cheapest commodity for the citizens. So these are the basic problems. If a state governor with the government allocation, federal government allocation, with the internal revenue generation, with any other security votes and all that, cannot do well as a state governor. It's a state governor, because this is the most important part. The governors are supposed to be the one to build their states through their LG chairmen. But this is what we have not seen. We keep on clamoring, president, 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 president. Presidents, at the end, in the end of the day, we only follow up with the things that the federal government is supposed to be doing, based on international relations, forex exchange, bilateral relationships with other countries, and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the president or the federal government disburses money to the state governors, ministries, agencies, for them to carry out their duties. But these duties are not carried out. So the problem is not mainly the president. That is why when voting this time, we also need to take caution and don't do everything by all means to the extent that we lose our lives, because we think by the time we vote one president, Nigeria is going to change. Yes, the president can make things to work better. But if the governors, the other LG chairmen, ministers, commissioners are not cooperative, nothing is still going to work. Nothing is still going to work. This is the simple truth. Because it takes all of them brought together to achieve a better state. If not, nothing will work. The president will be there. They may even gang up against the president and do things that may even cause more problems in the country. You see? Now, we have been talking about the executive arm of the government. What about the senators? What about the House of Rep members? What are they doing? They are supposed to also intervene in situations that are not okay with the citizens. But what do we get? Nothing. We don't get anything from them. They keep on piling money, traveling, enjoying. We don't even know if they exist really. So, there are constituencies in every state. People choose who will talk for them in the assembly. These people are chosen, they go there, but at the end of the day, you don't get anything. Nigeria is the only country where you see a House of Rep member who is talking about commissioning borehole, is commissioning toilets. What's your business with all that? What's your business? Are you the local government chairman? Are you the ward councillor? Are you the governor? What's your business with building schools? Yes, if you say, I want this thing to be in my locality, you give the order to the government, you submit the bill in the House of Assembly, then the follow-up is done. You continue to do your job. So there are many things in Nigeria that doesn't work. Where are our representatives that we send there to represent us? Are they there to speak our minds, or are they there for their own gains? He's not president. Like the rep of your area. Has he or she ever come down to your area to discuss with you, to know the problems that you are facing, to know how you will tackle it or submit it to the appropriate authority for the rectification of that problem? No, they don't do all that. It is very simple. We only hear when they talk about roads, school, electricity, security. But these are the same things that we have been talking about for almost 60 years, or for more than 60, close to 80 years now. The same thing. And these things are the easiest things to be taken care of. It's still the same thing. It's a shame that it's still the same thing that politicians are using to campaign today. I will build roads. I will build bridge. I will build school. I will build. Then after building the school, what is inside the school? Even if you build a school, because most times they are fond of painting schools and all that, or painting hospitals, or tarring roads with bitumen that mess away in a period of 6 months, 3 months. After building the school, what is inside the school? After building a hospital, what is inside the hospital? At times, when they even talk about, okay, you pick out a state. For instance, you take Edo State. Let's take Edo State as an example. You pick out Edo State to rate the performance of his governor, and then you pick out a city, then you level it down to a city in Edo State. Take, for instance, Benin City. This governor has really done a lot. He's trying. This governor is trying. He has done a lot of things. Look at the way Benin City is now. Whereas Benin City has been streamlined again to most times just one local government or two or three local government areas, because they will look at Ring Road, Saple Road, Ugbowo, Airport Road, maybe the government reservation areas, and one or two other places in Benin City, forgetting about every other places in the same Benin City that is awkward. And these same places that we have pinpointed also are not even optimal. You understand? They are not even at its peak. Just that some parts of the roads were painted, some hospitals were painted, some things were painted here and there. But if you go deep, you find out that there is really nothing there. That said, what about those areas that they don't bring out? What about the remote villages? What about the villages? What about other communities? Like in Edo State, if you go to Ekpoma, you see Uromi, maybe at the entrance of the main city is okay, everywhere is fine. You see that, yes, to a reasonable extent, you see road and stuff. But if you leave the center there and go deep inside, what do you see? If you go to Auchi, the same thing. You see maybe around the main city, when you just entered Auchi, the main city, near the campus areas, thereabouts, you see that the place is okay. Let's take it that way. But when you go deeper, what do you see? So Shomole, as the city did a lot, but when you go deeper, you cry. This is the same thing in the whole of Nigeria. If you that are living in the city cannot be sure of water in your home, we know that few people in Nigeria, yes, cannot open your tap at home and water will be running out of it. What do you think about the people living in remote areas, in the villages, those hidden communities, those people that do not even have lights, those people that do not even see televisions to watch or electricity to listen to news and all that? People that still go to the stream to get water to drink or to bathe themselves or to wash their clothes. Then we think things are functioning in a country like that, and they will tell you at this state, this governor did this governor did this. Are we supposed to be looking at only the main city and the center of the main city? Because even the main city is not up to date. So this is the problem of Nigeria. Then we try to blame everything most times on the president. And I keep on telling everyone that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not the one that will change Nigeria overnight. It needs the cooperation of all the stakeholders. Because even private individuals or companies that are even given projects to handle, people like you and I, they are even worse. Because the moment you give them the contract, there has already been an arrangement, kickback and all that. They will just take the money and abandon the project. These are the same people that will be crying that Nigeria is not good, the president is bad, but even the project that you were given to handle, you didn't do it. So the reason why nobody's really looking into these things is because nobody's a saint. Everybody's trying to rub each other's back and so on and so forth. So coming back to the security, if really our force men are duly empowered, we would have gotten to the point that we are today in Nigeria. Most policemen even dare to do some certain things, one, because they are hungry, as other citizens are also. Two, some of them believe they can do anything and get away with it because they have been involved in one thing or the other with some important people, and so on and so forth. So if we really empower the police officers and we separate the police force from the executives, from politicians, other members of the public, let the police stand on its own. Take for instance, an average police in Nigeria is well paid. Is well paid. Do you think that same policeman will go and stand junctions to be collecting 2020 naira? The Nigerian police gets meager salary. That is very bad also. And they are not even sure of what will happen to their families if they die in the line of duty. Or if anything happens in the line of duty, maybe a police is injured and he can no longer walk, he can no longer do other things. They are not even sure of what will happen. That is why at times when they are supposed to respond to some issues that is dangerous, you see them even running away or hiding. An average policeman is supposed to be well paid, not underpaid. If you go abroad in other countries, when you see a policeman, I don't want to say fear, but you'll be forced to respect that policeman. Starting from the way he's dressed, starting from his looks, they look healthy. They use the best cars as well. You see them, they are well fed. That means they are paid all right. So you will be afraid to give that policeman 20 euros or 50 euros or to even talk about bribing the policeman, the police officer. You'll be afraid to say, Oga, may I give you 20 euros now? Maybe I make they go. You won't have the courage because he's even better dressed than you. He could even be healthier than you. And when you see them, it's as if you see light. But what happens when you see a Nigerian police? Most times, they look tattered. They look hungry. That is why people have the courage to say, instead of stopping at all, they will just give him money. And the police officer will collect because he needs it. Believe it or not, we can do anything to make sure that we put food on the table for our family, our children. Imagine a country where police will be owed months. Salary will not be paid for months. What do you expect them to do? How do they get by? When you have kids that go to school, kids that will eat, you have a wife to take care of, you have other family members that may be depending on you. So this is another part that the Nigerian government need to concentrate on, to think of how to better the lives of the police officers. People are talking about state police. We have not been able to maintain the federal police. Now we are talking about the state police so that governors can now have power to maybe even command the police officers more than they are doing already. We have not survived with the federal police. People are talking about these things don't work in Nigeria. In other countries, yes, but it won't work in Nigeria. In most countries abroad, you see them. You see even local governments have their municipal. They have the police that or really knows the local areas, the municipal police. They still have it. But it won't work in Nigeria because someone is going to use them against other people. And at the end of the day, it will become worse because after using them, they won't be paid. They will even become worse. A hungry man is an angry man. And the people that are supposed not to be hungry in Nigeria in the first place are the police officers. We are supposed to pay them well so that they can live well, so that citizens will see them and respect them. Because the police is supposed to be the state. They are the ones that guarantee the security of lives and property. But they are badly treated in Nigeria. They are badly treated in Nigeria. The military is only called upon in times of high tension or if there is need for war and all that. But the police is what we need every day. So before we start shouting president, 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 there are a lot of things that we need to change. There are a lot of things because how do you expect a police to function when it is the president that will appoint the inspector general of police? How do you expect the police to function when it's the state governor to produce, when it's the state governor that will produce the commissioner of police? How do you expect the police to function? If the inspector general of police does a thing that the president does not like, the president will change him immediately. It's not even difficult. You don't even know when that inspector general of police will be changed because we heard of the inspector general of police that was saying, now, I don't want my police officers to be guarding anybody's gates. I don't want my police officers to be guarding anybody. I'm going to pull all of them out back to the station where they should be working. Before you know it, they changed him. He was saying the truth. Then there is another inspector general of police that was beginning to gather the gadgets, the state-of-the-art equipments that the police needed. Before you know what was happening, that could not have been in line with some people. It was changed also. Now we have the problem of police brutality, issues of police killing innocent citizens, issues of police brutalizing innocent citizens. We even heard of Okozu SARS and all that, Okozu SARS, that of Anambra State. Now, is the state or the country not supposed to think of a solution to this? Take, for instance, in the riots that happened the other day when some people were shot. If the police officers had gone there with cameras on their body, the way it is now done in the United States, that you are as an officer, you have a camera that is recording everything, everybody that you talk with, that you attend to, the whole of that day. So when you get back to the office, you have to discharge it, and everything is going to be stored in a drive. So if you are a policeman and you know that you are carrying a camera, you'll be afraid to do some certain things because you know that definitely they are going to see the way everything happened and you cannot lie about it. What does it take? What does it take to provide things like that? It doesn't cost much. Nigeria can afford it. Let all the interrogation rooms carry video cameras so that people will not be manhandled during interrogations. And these cameras should be connected directly either to the president's main office or anyone that is in charge of police in Nigeria. So that when they are now interrogating people, they interrogate them properly. What does all this discuss? But the problem in Nigeria is no one wants to do what is right so that they can continue to achieve their aims. We are supposed to see a Nigeria where we are thinking of solutions. When you see a problem, you try to find out what the cause of this problem is, and before you try to resolve it. So, what will it cost for Nigeria to procure this camera for all the policemen in Nigeria? After all, there are not very many. Maybe we have about 400,000 or 300 and something thousand. So we will already know if you are a policeman, if you are moving, everything that you are doing is being recorded. So the same police will not even collect bribe, because now, if he's going to collect bribe, he's going to switch that thing off. And they are going to ask him, why did you switch it off? So you see that we don't want to resolve problems. Now, even the Attorney General of the Federation may have no say, because he may also have been appointed by the president. So what makes you think that the president now will respect a court order? Judges are favored, they are appointed, things are done anyhow in Nigeria, and they will keep thinking of changing Nigeria and voting one person miraculously. No, these things will not change, because there are many things that we have not changed. There are many things that we have not changed. Even the INEC chairman is appointed. So someone that is appointed will likely we take orders from the person that appointed him or her, because that is why you are there. So we need to change the way things are. We need to amend the constitution if that is what is needed. Change the way people are being appointed in Nigeria, so that we can be able to separate the three arms of the government: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. These three arms of government needs to be separated for things to work in Nigeria. They need to be working independently. They are not supposed to be depending on one another. In Nigeria, these three arms of government are all one. This is the problem. This is a major problem in Nigeria. The three arms of government are one, not three. Because the executive is the one that will bring this one, is the one that will bring this one. They even start to do it already during the elections. Even before the election, they have made promises. You be this, you be this, you be that. So give me money, I'll put it here. Don't worry, this one starts supporting. Don't worry, I'll make you this when I become. Don't worry, I'll make you that when I become. At the end of the day, there's nobody to say anything when things are going wrong. That is why everything is so scattered. Nobody is talking about even those that, for instance, are farming, that cannot get any incentive, those that are trading, that are not even registered, that are continuously extorted every day, because those monies that they collect from market women, traders, bus drivers, bike riders, store owners, and in the name of local government revenue, state revenue, federal revenue, are all extortions. These people are extorted. And this is happening in his country, because if we have journalists that will investigate, or policemen that will investigate into this matter, you find out that the tickets that they are collecting, the money that they are collecting from these market women, traders, bike riders, and so on and so forth, has no register anywhere. No register. These monies end up in the hands of the same people that collected it. They only give some kickback to who put them there, and the rest, they may just go to a hotel and be enjoying themselves. While those that are paying the money does not have any form of security because of the money they are paying. They have no life insurance, they have no health insurance, they have no pension when they become old. All these things happen in Nigeria. And people are just shouting, President, 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 President. President is not our problem. We should wake up. If from one day it will boil down that we are our own problems. Yeah, because we take everything. We don't look into things. Look at the issue of the new Naira notes. It became a problem when the 1,500, 200 Naira notes were not available. Whereas we have other legal tenders. We have 10 Naira, 20 Naira, 50 Naira, 100 Naira, 5 Naira. We even have coins, 2 Naira, 1 Naira, 50 cents, 10 cents, kobo, 20 kobo, 50 kobo, 5 kobo, 2 kobo, 1 kobo. We have all these things. But we intentionally preferred to be using the bigger denominations that is causing inflation in our economy. Nigeria does not need 1,000 Naira notes at the moment. If the United States of America are not using 1,000 Naira notes, why should Nigeria be using 1,000 Naira notes? You think they don't know what they are doing? They even tried, I think they tried 500 US dollars, which was later removed. I don't think they even have $200. If they have it, you can't find it. What you see most times is still $100 in the United States of America. We deliberately abandoned our own currencies. 20 Naira, 50 Naira, 100 Naira, 10 Naira, 5 Naira. Deliberately made things to become more expensive because we devalued our own money by ourselves. Then people started to buy few things with big money, because if you are going to buy something for 25 Naira and the vendor does not have 25 Naira to give to you, you are either going to buy it for 30 Naira or you are going to buy two of those things, one that you don't need and one that you need. So if you go to the market and they don't have the change to give to you, if you took 50 Naira to the market, you are forced to spend the whole of that 50 Naira. So we deliberately injected inflation in our economy, which has even become worse because I think last year it was about 22.4%. Now, just one trial, everywhere turned upside down because there is no 500, there is no 1,000, there is no 200. What business do we have with such monies? Imagine a Nigerian will say, I won't accept 50 Naira. I won't take 100 Naira. I won't take 5 Naira. Why? You are thinking about portability. It is compact. If I hold 100,000, you even know that I'm holding 100,000. That's what you are supposed to be thinking of economically. Even if the money is many, so long as it has value. If it is compact and it does not have value, then it is useless. These are the things that we don't even think about. If we had, at the moment, as of today, we still have 20 Naira, 10 Naira, 5 Naira, 50 Naira. They are still very much in circulation. 100 Naira. Then we would have noticed this issue of protests here and there, hunger, deaths, and so on. We have caused ourselves a lot of problems. We need to start thinking, finding out where the problems are in our society, and tackle them. Yes. And stop expecting one person to become a president and perform miracle. The change that we are looking for begins from us. What we do in our society determines the betterment, the goodness of our society. Because it is our society, our neighbor, our families are all there. So we all need to take decisions that will be good for our societies. If the people that we put in office in our local areas are not doing what we expect them to do, we call them. Yes. There's still what they call recall election in Nigeria. Or you invite them, people speak with them to tell them that this is what is right. If they don't do it, go out and protest peacefully instead of protesting for naira and destroying banks. If things were still okay, nobody would have suffered this period if we still had other legal tenders, other currencies of naira. Nobody would have suffered. Believe me, 1,000 naira, 500 naira, 200 naira notes are not good for Nigeria now because of our economic might. Yes. Because the economy of any nation is measured by the gross domestic product, the one they call GDP. Then there is per capita income, and so on and so forth. If you go through all these things, you see that Nigeria is not ready for a bigger denomination of the currency. So this is the point. That takes us back to the police force and what their duties will be or what we expect of them during these elections. Let us not expect much from them because already they have been programmed to depend on the same people that you expect them to justify or to work against or to ensure that they do what they are supposed to do. The policemen at this point cannot make them to do what is right because they have been programmed to be under these people. That is why they even render the police officers poor. That is why they rendered the police force poor. So let us not expect much because orders are going to be given and those orders must be adhered to. Buhari said he launched 127 police equipment vans and all that riot black 127 in the whole of Nigeria. Besides, I'm not sure we were having much before. Now you added 127 to maybe the 50 that we used to have for the whole of Nigeria. In the whole of about 200, almost 200,000 police units in Nigeria. Plus other security problems in Nigeria. You are launching 127 police equipment. 127. Man, are we joking? It just as if you take people for granted. We would have heard that each state launched 127. It was launched in each state, not at the federal level. Man, are we playing? Oh yeah, as Nigerians they talk, make you they play. So this is the point. Really, let us not expect much from the Nigerian police this time as well. So if you know that you are confident and that you are sure that they will deliver, you can come online. I'm sure we'll talk again later when I come back home. You can come online while we discuss together and try to find the way forward to our problems in Nigeria. So once again, stay blessed. We'll see you again later.